the early 1990s, when we started our environmental business, we realized that there weren't clear rules from the government on how to clean up contaminated or brownfield properties. Harbor Island was known as the Cibro petroleum site. It housed over 17 million gallons of storage for home heating oil, and there were trucks and ships 24 hours a day rolling up the canal, down the streets, until it went bankrupt, at which time the DEC sought a remedy to clean up the site. In 1999, we bought it out of bankruptcy and started a path to finding a remedy and a use to redevelop the property.
We used to burn the contaminated soil through the asphalt plant. It was a long process, slow, messy, and it didn't create a very viable product in the end.
The Harbor Isle site, unfortunately, contained many heavy-ended hydrocarbons that were not easily able to be remediated by a burning or oxidizing process. One of our scientists suggested that we try soil washing as a method to remedy the contamination.
Soil washing is just a simple process of particle separation. When people think of soil, they just think of the sands and stone particles, but a lot of soil is also made up of the fine material, which are clays and silts. Clays and silts are encrusted over the whole piece of sand or piece of stone. So when we get a load of dirt, it's basically made up of all sorts of components. Once it gets through the process, we have our products of stone. All this stuff that was on these rocks basically gets stripped off and we're left with clean stones. On the sand side, the same thing sort of happens. It comes out and all we have left now are sand particles.
We realized that we could liberate the contaminants and successfully recycle the bulk of the material from these types of sites. After some trial and error, we realized this was a successful approach, but didn't have the equipment nor the knowledge how to do it successfully. We were out at a large industry event and we ran into equipment that CDE was demonstrating at the expo. We immediately realized that this equipment and CDE had the knowledge and expertise to remediate Harbor Island successfully.
When the idea of soil washing first came about, I was a little skeptical and thought the idea was actually crazy. But it wasn't until we flew over to England and Northern Ireland and we took some tours of some existing plants that were operational and running, and we were able to see what was going in and what products were coming out that I really thought it was a viable option for us.
While we realized that CDE had the mechanical expertise to help us remediate these soils, we realized that at a grand scale, we needed help. I reached out to a friend of mine, Gary Albertson, from Suez, the largest water treatment company in the world, and he told me that their company not only could help us with design, but they also manufactured the equipment that we specifically needed for the process that we intended to develop.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop top, he says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant person to the reservation. Default the pistol that you pay for. Just pump the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go write your message on the pavement. Burn so bright, I wonder what the wave meant. Kickstart the golden generate hub. Sweet talk but don't intimidate hub. Can't stop the gods from engineering. Feel no need for any interfering. Your image in the dictionary. This life is more than ordinary. Can I get you maybe even 3 of these? Coming from a space to teach you of the Pleiades.
Probably about 6 years ago, he gave me a call and said, listen, I've got a great idea, something that's gonna change everything for the island. I wanna bring all of the dirt that's been contaminated across the island to Babylon and clean it. I said, you wanna do what? And after he showed me, and not only his enthusiasm for the solution, but his knowledge and all of the legwork that he had done convinced me that this was going to be something special.
We were excited. This is a technology that's one of a kind in New York State, if not in the US.
This type of project is so needed for our region on Long Island and obviously the larger metro area. So when Michael first approached us about the concept, we said, great, let's see if we can help you bring this, concept to reality.
The idea of being able to reuse all the water that they're using to wash all the materials, to wash all the soil, and to take out 90% of the materials and be able to reuse them is truly going to be something that can make a difference.
Their vision and their ability to make this happen, to implement this vision, is pretty extraordinary. And I think the environmental community is as happy as you could possibly be today because of what this facility means, and not only for our county but for the region as a whole.
The issue about illegal dumping is a critical one, and the issue about having contaminated groundwater is an existential one on Long Island.
The unveiling today, is a big deal. A lot of you didn't know how big of a deal it is, but it's the largest soil wash plant in the world. A few years, we're celebrating 75 years. We have 4 generations. There's 4 of the 4th generations. When you're faced with a problem, brownfield cleanup or industrial cleanup, the right way to do it is to get the stakeholders at the table to discuss the solutions, but then to implement one. Dealing with it in a head-on way sometimes is difficult, but the best way to do it. In this case, our regulators and the community came together to see that get done. The end result is a better environment. Certainly, we've created a world-class facility to clean contaminated soil as part of the outcome. And there's more opportunity to clean up more sites in our region and potentially other regions across the country and the world that need the same type of technology.